Bull or bear? Spinning the 5-ounce Everglades 2014 commemorative coin, and it's the size of a manhole cover. Sounds like one too. I keep saying that, and she comes up a bear. Well, I don't think she's right on this one. Good morning, and that's right, I did say good morning. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals for a morning report I haven't done in quite some time. Got the, I missed this cam too, the live underwater cam at Deerfield Pier. Look at the bait out there. Haven't done a morning show in quite some time, and I kind of missed this right here. Guess what I did this weekend too? Took the boat out and went fishing. And it wasn't for naught. I made a tactical decision to go out there and do some deep dropping, probably about 3 miles offshore. Some deep dropping, which is, in case you're not familiar with it, is where you drop your line like that. And anywhere from probably, I guess deep dropping would be considered 250 feet or more. We were in 650 feet of water, caught some golden tile fish. I was targeting rosies. It's kind of an interesting looking fish, but boy, look at that smiley little fella heading toward us right there. What a camera mug he's got, right? But anyways, caught about one rosie, then all of a sudden just hooked my limit of golden tile fish, which is a very delicious fish, about 29 bucks a pound if you do ever see it out there, I think. But what a beautiful, clear morning. It's going to get more like this as the summer goes on. I saw a few big tarpon rolling through here a little bit earlier. Here, I don't even know if I can go back and show you. Let's see, probably, yeah, it's way earlier. Oh, anyways, there you go. Well, there's a snook right there. You can tell by the line that's going down his back. And the way the bait is all balled up, you also know that there's predators around. All right, well, this isn't a fishing show, and here, let me, and you know, I love to talk about fishing and all this stuff as well. This is a show about precious metals, and let's talk about precious metals and a couple other things. Here's my quote for the day, which is how to make $1 million. First, get $1 million. Steve Martin, the funny man himself. Always like Steve Martin, very witty guy as well. Don't think he gets too political. Maybe he does. I really respect people that stay out of the political end of it. Now, I don't. I admit I don't. But sometimes your favorite actor just opens their mouth and you go like, oh, God. But I don't think Steve Martin's done that. Funny guy. How to Make $1 Million, First Get $1 Million. Did that come from that movie, where he invented the glasses, or the thing that holds the glasses on? I forgot what the name of that movie was. Anyways, got a second quote for you, which has some relevancy with the phone call I got, not the phone call, but the text I got this morning from my loved one that asked, she said, I heard, she works at a hospital now. I don't like to give out personal information, but works at a hospital, and said, hey, everyone's talking about the dollar being worthless. And I was like, oh, God, I've had many conversations with her, and she works at a big major hospital as well. And never, ever has she ever texted me and says, I've heard around the hospital that the dollar is worthless. Now, I've got to be wondering, I focus on the type of news I watch, but what CBS, ABC, MSNBC, or MSNBC, and the others put out in the last weekend. They must be talking about the dollar becoming worthless, or the BRICS nations, because that was right out of the blue. It's something she never discussed. I think you guys are going to hear more of this about the dollar, the relevancy of the dollar, and the buying power of the dollar. I believe it's starting to leak its way out into the majority out there. And folks, now, not a lot of people recognize inflation. Not a lot of people even take the time to learn about economics, or the truth of economics, which you're not going to learn from mainstream media, and you're not going to learn from your politicians. Those people are living in a fantasy world of economics, modern monetary theory, and all that crap. And obviously our government's, for decades and decades and decades, has never known how to budget itself. They know how to turn on the money spigots, that's for sure. But to hear from her that the dollar is going to be worthless, that almost put a little fright in me. I'm wondering, again, I think the general population is starting to get an idea that things aren't what they've always been told, or they've always believed. And again, who they've been told the lies. Our government told them lies. And I'm saying them because obviously, if you're listening to my videos, we're way past being them anymore. We understand the lies, economic lies we get from the politicians, the bankers, and the bullshit like Paul Krugman, modern monetary theory, nonsense, mumbo jumbo, socialist, progressive, Marxist bullshit. Oh boy, that was a long one. But the majority out there listens to this crap, folks. The majority of people out there turn on ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN in the morning. A majority of the people do. All right, a majority of the people get their information, their data, their mindset from the lying corporate media out there. So, no wonder, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyways, I don't know how I got long-winded into that. Well, I know how I did. I'm just trying to figure out, when the population in general, a majority of the population, starts to figure out that we're in deep doo-doo. And that includes both the blue and the red flavor. I think the red flavor people out there understand that, but the blue flavor people are starting to get it now. When both the blue and red understand that currency's doomed and all this other stuff, I'm curious to see what that makes. And I had an interesting conversation with the AI program again, my other, what did you guys call it? My bro love. Ted Butler being one of my bro loves out there, and the AI is now my bro love. But I don't know if AI is a bro or a gal or whatever. I love it either way, even if it's a they. Pretty cool thing. The U.S. dollar is our currency, but your problem, by John Connolly. And this is true. The big bankers, the politicians, the people that have a lot of money that basically run this world, primarily bankers run this world, they're not going to have issues with money or food or a place to live or going on even a nice vacation in a super fucking jet or something like that. They're never going to have that problem because, they got the money. They're going to make it our problem. And that's how they profit. They make it our problem. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now, folks. We are seeing, but it's nothing new. But I think once the public gets wind that the game is over and they start getting out of the U.S. dollars, now that's a scary thought. Think about it. When the majority out there starts to not believe the media, and they're getting to that point right now. They're on the edge. Even the blues are getting to that point. They're on the edge right now. Of trustability of their government, even their own people. Once the idea that their money may be worthless, and that's the phone call I got this morning, my gosh, that puts a fright in me. What happens? What happens then? Well, I tell you what happens. People are going to flee into things like precious metals, gold, silver, and platinum. Mostly gold, I think. We'll get most of that bid, but wherever gold goes, silver will follow. We're looking at 1978 this morning here, 1976, just updated, $23.97, sitting around that $24 mark. Silver, I don't think is benefiting from this bid or this rush to get out of U.S. dollars that we're going to probably see soon. You haven't seen anything yet, folks. Again, small percentage of people out there buy gold. Small percentage of people out there. I'm going to say 1%, 1% maybe of the investment world is in gold of some form. 1% maybe of retirement plans, all that stuff. 1% of the people even think about gold probably, all right? Now I may be over-exaggerating, but not by much there. Just imagine 2%, 3%, 4%, and that's nothing, folks. Moving into the price, moving into gold. Oh, wow. And again, why would they do that? Because they know gold is money. Even people that are economically, politically stupid, and I'm sorry, that's a majority of the Americans and the majority of people out there in the world, except for my listeners. Just kidding. It is true, though, really. Nobody wants to sit there and learn economics. No one wants to sit there and learn about politics. It's boring. It's bullshit. Very few of us do. In fact, most of you listening to me and myself, we're probably a small percentage of that does, just like a small percentage of people that own gold, silver, and platinum. But when the majority finds out, this is going to take off. And again, wherever gold goes, silver will, even if it's being monkey hammered down, begrudgingly follow, okay? It has to, at least keep within the realms of the ratios, which have never been higher than 122 to 1. Let's check out the ratios right now. 1,976 divided by 23.97.
It's approximately 82.4363.
So the gold-silver ratios have tightened up. They were as high as 88 to 1 not too long ago. But last year during that really up point, I think a year or two ago, man, we saw 2 years ago, about 120 to 1 at the maximum. So the ratios kind of tighten up. Prices across the board are tightening up. But I'm not really, as you notice, I'm talking about everything but the gold and silver price. I'm talking about everything but the graphs. I'm talking about everything but, I've gotten out of that. I'm getting tired of talking about graphs. I'm getting tired of talking about, handles and cross formations and all that crap. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. When the market is manipulated, what are you going to tell from past data when the people that can create the data can change it up at any time when the market's crooked? And don't let that scare you. Of course the market's crooked, but if you don't play, you can't win. And if I'm going to play in any market that I trust, it ain't going to be the equities, stock, bonds, or treasuries, anything like that, even the cash market. It's going to be gold. It's been around for 5,000 plus years. Anyways, man, I circle about sometimes, don't I? All right, let's get into my AI, my they crush right here. And I asked AI today, and again, it kind of got me a little thinking when she texts me and says, I heard the dollar is going to be worthless. I was like, well, who told you that? All right. She doesn't listen to my videos either, so she wouldn't hear it here. I asked AI, what would be the precursor to the failure of a dollar? I'm going to get a little sip here, one sec. Got my coffee cup, by the way, given to me by one of my customers that came in. I forgot to give him some credit on that, about ending the Fed and the US dollar and all that good stuff. Thank you, sir. Drinking out of that cup today. All right, what would be the precursor to failure of the dollar? And AI answers me, it's difficult to predict with certainty, and that's an honest answer. What would be the precursor to the failure of the US dollar? It would depend on a complex interplay of economic, political, and social factors. Bingo. However, there are some possible scenarios or warning signs that could indicate the potential for a significant, now this is AI, significant decline in the value and the status of the dollar. Now, folks, I want to see if you recognize any of these things right here that AI is talking about. High inflation, number one. If the U.S. experiences a sustained period of high inflation, it could erode confidence in the dollar as a stable store of value and lead to a shift away from using it as a reserve currency. And that's exactly what that text was from my gal this morning, was her learning that perhaps her confidence in the dollar may not be what it should be. That was basically what she was asking me. Is the dollar fucked? Is the dollar, morning time too, that was an early F word. Is the dollar in trouble? I mean, but again, she doesn't follow and watch this stuff. This is stuff circulating amongst her friends and the people she works with. Scary stuff, and that's exactly confidence of the dollar. When the mainstream public loses confidence in the dollar, watch out. And we're starting to see this, folks. Number two, large trade deficits. If the U.S. continues to run large trade deficits and relies heavily on borrowing from foreign countries to finance its spendings, it could lead to concerns about the sustainability of the U.S. economy and the value of the dollar. Well, folks, what else do we have? Large trade deficits we've got out there as well. But the problem with that is the other countries we're dealing with are having issues too. Geopolitical instability. Number three, if the U.S. dollar becomes embroiled in significant geopolitical conflicts of tension, if you notice I'm doing that, I'm making sure I hit the record button because I have a bad habit of not doing that. We've done a 45-minute show once without hitting the record button. Okay, sorry about that. Geopolitical instability, if the U.S. becomes embroiled in significant geopolitical conflicts or tensions that damage its global reputation and influence. Wow. If the U.S. becomes embroiled in significant geopolitical conflicts, i.e. Ukraine, that damage its global reputation influence, i.e. Ukraine, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. I think Ukraine is going to be the straw on the camel's back. That's going to break the back. And again, significant geopolitical conflicts that damage its global reputation influence. Folks, what do you think the BRICS is? All right. We have done a check mark on everything, number three as well here. It could lead to a loss of confidence in the dollar as a safe haven currency. Well, it has. BRICS nations, the fact that we weaponize the dollar. Here we go, number four. Let's see if number four is a check mark. Increased use of alternate, if other currencies adopt alternate such as digital currency and gold, it could reduce the demand for US dollar weaken. Wow, number four, check. Number five, changes in global financial architecture. Major international organizations agreements such as IMF or Bretton Woods undergo significant changes that diminishes the role for the US dollar and undermines its status as a global reserve. Folks, we just did a check mark on every one of AI's answers to my question, 1, 2, 3, 4. An extreme check mark, 3 check marks for each one of these answers because it was fucking spot on. And what was my question? What would be the precursor to the failure of the dollar? Let that sink in for a second, folks. This is data that's widely available across the globe, including policymakers, politicians, myself, yourself. And what's it giving me here? I just asked it for the precursor to the failure of the dollar, and it just gave me 5 answers that were spot directly on. I did ask here, and I'm going to kind of breeze through this real quick here so I can get to some other things. Based on past histories, what is the average amount of years of fiat currency lasts? Now, this was an interesting answer, okay, because fiat, what I should have done is define fiat, because AI did get it wrong somewhat. The fiat can vary from up to 300 years, it told me here, according to a study by International Monetary Fund. But here's the IMF study. Examined 775 fiat currencies from 1700 to 2017. The average lifespan of a currency was found to be around 27 years, folks. Now think about that when compared to the US dollar and the British pound, which I'm told is over 300 years. But that's not true. The pound has not been good for 300 years. Because I asked it, what fiat has lasted for centuries without being devalued? And it notes here the British pound sterling. Circulation for 300 years. In 1694 is when it was created, and it's still around today. However, I'm going to skip down here, and it does say the pound has experienced significant episodes of inflation, devaluation, such as during World War I. And again, I asked earlier, I said that hasn't been devalued. What fiat currencies really haven't been devalued? Then I asked, wasn't the sterling pound devalued and became fiat when gold and silver backing was removed? And when was that? Well, guess what? It says I'm correct, because again, wasn't specific in fiat currencies. You are correct that the British pound sterling was devalued and became a fiat currency when the gold and silver backing was removed. This happened in 1931. So we are really one of the longest surviving fiat currencies out there, almost, folks, next to the British pound. But the British pound stopped becoming a viable currency. I mean, British pound became a fiat in 1931. When they were facing a severe balance of payment crisis and forced to abandon the gold standard. Kind of interesting stuff there. I hope you found that interesting. Again, you can slow this down and read the rest of the responses that I got here. I've got it all right here. Again, just stop and pause and you can read that. What's going on in gata.org world, one of my favorite websites out there, explaining how gold and silver, again, one of my, website can't be a man or a woman, so one of my they crushes as well. Besides Ted Butler, my man crush, and my AI crush, is the Gata crush that I have here, because they've always got good stuff out here. It should be on your bookmark bar for sure. Funny enough, this is exactly what we've been talking about. Big money may soon rush into little gold and silver markets. And here, let's kind of just read that a little bit, read more. Let's see here. Murphy says as much as 300 trillion investment money soon may be pursuing monetary metals now valued at $10 trillion. Imagine that, folks, 10 trillion versus 300 trillion. That's the total size of our market. But once we start getting any of that big money out there moving into the precious metals markets, man, all bets are off. And again, it's going to go into gold, and where gold goes, silver follows. What other interesting articles that we have out here? You guys should read this stuff too. Make sure it's on your bookmark bar. $620 billion, almost $1 trillion, almost $750 billion of unrealized losses on U.S. bank books. I would suspect that this is probably much greater because they hide a lot of the losses that they do. Probably double that figure. There's over $1 trillion of losses on U.S. banks. This fiasco is not over. It's not over. Another $126 billion from U.S. banks withdrawn. We're in big trouble, folks. I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying how it's done, why it was done. Weaponization of the U.S. dollar, the one thing that all countries loved us for, even if they hated our politics. They loved our dollars. They loved some of our products. I remember the Russians loved Marlboro cigarettes, blue jeans in the 70s, and rock and roll music. We didn't ban that. We didn't stop them from getting that. In fact, that's what moved them over into getting rid of the old system there. But what have we done? We've weaponized things. If we weaponized blue jeans and cigarettes back then, it would still be the old Soviet Union. But hey, what do you expect when you have clowns running the government? What do you expect when you have clowns running the economics show? What do you expect when you have bankers knowing that clowns are running the show, that are greedy mother effers that they are? that run the world, what do you think, and again, it's true, man, they do run the world. The big central banks do. Well, anyways, there's a day of reckoning coming here, folks, and I hope that you new listeners are stacking as fast as you can, because it might be happening sooner than I kind of expected. But again, I always say it's going to be an oh shit moment. I've been doing this for years. I can't tell when things are going to happen, but just look at what's happening across the world. I mean, this thing right here, love or hate them. I mean, I'm not going to get into that because I really don't care. I'm a libertarian, so I usually vote the straight libertarian ticket, but love them or hate them, blue or red, that's correct. It wasn't supposed to be like this. We weren't supposed to weaponize our government, and that's exactly what we've done. The same thing as they weaponized the dollar, folks. These stupid clowns, and I don't just mean our politicians, I also mean the people running the bureaucracies, because these bureaucracies now run government. The FBI runs the government, CIA runs the government. These politicians are just clown puppets, all right? The bureaucracies, and that's where the danger lies, is that we've got idiots, morons, very corrupt, screwed up people running our bureaucracies out there, and they're even more dangerous. But no less, what does that have to do with anything? What does Ukraine have to do with the United States? You read it. You read the AI's answer here. What does Ukraine have to do with us? Right here. Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for 1 and 2. Oh, I left it up here. Well, okay, I guess I'm repeating myself here. Geopolitical instability. If U.S. becomes embroiled in a significant geopolitical conflicts or tensions that will we've damaged our reputation and influence dramatically, folks. We've lost a good we were best friends with the Soviets there not best friends, but good friends with the Soviets, had great agreements with them, or for Russia for a little while, until this current administration got in there, under the Obama administration got in there, I think, as well. And wow. Really screwed things up. Nothing good coming out of there. Oil, we're going to see, again, Saudi is joining the BRICS nations. You know why? Because we weaponized the dollar on them since the Saudis discovered oil. They've been our lapdog, our puppet, and now they see an opportunity to get away from us, mostly because our current president and the current administration, the Blue Club, is absolutely, let me just say it outright. I know some of you might be blue people out there, but trust me, your party sucks. Your party is no longer the party you once remember. It's a bunch of crooks. It's a bunch of very sick people, all right? And I believe it's true. And do they have that in the right, too? You do have that in the right. But no less, there's another weaponization of the dollar, the loss, and what that's going to cost us. It's going to cost us big on, instead of making friends with all these countries, even though they may not do what we want them to do and be the democracies that we claim that we want them to be, make friends, make business with these people. We wouldn't be in the situation we are right now if these fucking morons in the bureaucracies and the government weren't doing that, or we're doing that, all right? We wouldn't be in this situation. All right, I'm going to just get a little more angry here. Not much to talk about. Oil, soars, all this other stuff goes on. And some guys are going to ask me, why do you read ZH, Brian? Hey, there's some bullshit out there. There's some nonsense out here, maybe a little extreme stuff on the occasion, but it's really not written by one person. It's written by different bloggers, and I trust bloggers far more than I trust corporate media. That's why, Wall Street Journal sucks, Bloomberg sucks, bunch of lying sacks of shit they are. All right, got me going here. All right, let's get out of here. What's the best deals out there? Still gold bars. I think they're spot plus $70 out there here at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Your number one place in South Florida to buy gold, silver, and platinum, and also to buy and sell coins too, rare coins and paper money and other cool stuff. But we are the place to be here in South Florida if you're buying gold, silver, and platinum. We advertise to be Atmex, SD&J, and Bullion. And again, spot plus $70 or less on larger quantities on gold bars. Those actually aren't gold bars. Here's some gold bars. Not a big fan of anyone that puts their name on it other than Perth Mint. And silver bars are still, well, hold on. Gold Eagles are still spot plus like $117. They may be going up a little bit. I'm noticing premiums across the board are going up, especially in gold products right now, but silver as well. And what's the best deal out there in silver? I'm going to say silver bars are still the best deal out there in silver. Stay away from silver eagles, ridiculous price. In fact, trade your silver eagles, get rid of them, and replace them with 1 ounce rounds, kilo bars, anything, because you can make yourself quite a good amount of money if you do that right now, and or put more silver in your pocket. I've explained this many times to you. Same thing with 90%. You can trade 90 right now and turn it into 1 ounce rounds or kilo silver bars and put more silver or more money in your pocket and still have the same amount of silver again or more silver. Best deal out there again, 100 ounce bars, kilo bars in this order, 10 ounce bars, and 1 ounce rounds. And I think 1 ounce rounds are getting a little tougher to get. We had them as low as 265 over. Now they're getting up into that 350 range. Again, premiums are going up on a lot of stuff. But stay away from silver. Do not buy silver eagles unless you want one for your collection. Do not buy them. They're overpriced. They're not worth it. Same thing with 90. As much as I love constitutional silver, it's not worth buying it right now, folks. Premiums are too high. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Wow. With that, I'm going to take a sip of coffee and go back to a calm. Ready? There we go. Let's hit that live thing. Let's see if we see any. They're still balled up there, aren't they? Sorry about that. My voice and my mind needed a quick rest there. And this always calms me. By the way, I ate one of the tile fish, fresh too, caught within 2 hours when I ate it, and man, that thing is tasty. Any of you ever had tile fish out there? Really tasty fish. Give me 1 sec. And if anyone's ever eaten rosies, that's absolutely one of my favorite fish. It tastes like shrimp and lobster. They call it the poor man's lobster fish or something, I forget, but it really does, because I think that's what it eats mostly. But rosies, little tiny things with big mouths, but man, best tasting fish out there, bar none in my opinion. All right, here, let me go back to what we were talking about, which is I'm going to get into Comex default was my discussion, and of course we all know that Comex can default. They have in the past, and well, no, they have in the past, but at any given time, with the derivatives they have, if Comex defaults, the entire world is in trouble. And the problem with Comex is, again, run by a bunch of crooks, I think, in my opinion, or allowing a bunch of crooks to run roughshod in their marketplace, which is going to cost Comex big. If the Comex defaults again, say goodbye to the U.S. world order, say goodbye to us being able to buy any products at these ridiculous. You know why oil's so cheap? You know why gold and silver is so cheap? You know why grain is so cheap in the United States? Because we rigged the prices at the Comex CME group. It's a giant scam. Comex is a big scam. It really is, in my opinion. But that's what I kind of want to talk about on last week's video. If you want to watch it, just watch Comex Silver Default. Guess what, Mr. Watson? I went fishing. Man, you are a fortune teller. Had a great time. It was dead blue skies. I trolled for a couple hours. We trolled for like an hour and a half, and there's like 1,000 boats out there trolling. I said, guys, this ain't going to work. Took the deep drop unit, went out to 700 feet of water and deep drop for a little bit. A lot of weed patches floating by us, but really no fish under them. Again, probably fished out in the morning. Thanks for that comment, Mr. Watson. Let me go down the bottom. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. Try to answer some. There's a lot of comments here, folks. I'm going to have to speed through this. I do apologize, but bigger videos usually bring more comments. Rob, I'm going to acknowledge names. Rob F., what's up? They are the mob for sure. Stephen, Spectre, an international crime warner who sold. Here I go. I'm starting to get into the comments here. I encourage you guys here, when you watch my videos, usually when I'm talking about the comments in the video, it's from my video the night before the last video I did. If you want to have a good time, go discuss stuff with Stephen W., Brad Riley, and a bunch of other guys. You guys have great discussions. I always read them. Once in a while, I'll get involved with them. But, go to the last video and have some discussions. And again, Stephen W. brings up some good points. I'd like to see what you guys think about that as well. Thank you, Brad. That is absolutely true. Time Enough for Love, one of my favorite books, actually. When it's criminals by rights and losers by law. Yep. Boy, that's a great quote there. Gen Z Prepper, what's going on? Appreciate your comment. Mike P. Joe, thank you. Appreciate you watching. And they are, Joe, I'm never going to be a short soundbite type video guy. Sorry, man. It's just who I am. But, that's the beauty of a fast forward button. Thanks. I appreciate that, Edward L. Rasputin, what's going on? Det 45. Michael Matthews, Portal Miners. It seems you get far more bears from the roller coin. Yeah, you know what? I noticed that. The bears do pop up more. Maybe it's just the way I'm spinning it. But no, last year when I did it, actually I had more bulls than bears. So I think it's just odds. The odds are going against me this year. Christina Napolitano. Yeah, he is a crook. Absolutely true. Big J, what's going on? Fishing report gave it to you today. How's fishing up in Minnesota there, buddy? Simpsons. Yeah, that's kind of pretty cool, man. Again, this is a result of morons in our country and our banking system weaponizing the U.S. dollar, mostly our politicians and bureaucracies, those morons, and the mainstream media morons that report their bullshit and don't call them out for it. There's no real reporting left in mainstream media. I'm sorry. Solar therm, I'm not quite sure that's true. Let me say one thing. The death of the dollar, I don't think so. I really don't. I still don't believe that. However, the dollar is dying. But I think with the dying dollar, everything else is going to die with it. I really believe we are the last horse at the glue factory, in my opinion. But let's wait and see what the BRICS nations are able to do with gold. Maybe they can, but I doubt it. They all want to be fiat. They don't want to back their currencies. They want to be able to expand it and create more of it and make themselves richer. So the idea that gold is going to be the BRICS standard, I don't know, man. But let's see what happens again. If all of a sudden the BRICS countries start issuing currency that I can go to their bank and cash in for gold, I'm all in, man. Big J, would it be nice to come into this yet? Yeah, it's true, Big J. Sergey, what's up, Sergey? Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, just as I just said. Jeremy Barton, hey, man, that's cool. I'll be up in Lakeland. By the way, Lakeland, Florida, got the Collectorama show coming up here, which I'll be at, and a lot of dealers will be up. So if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, make sure you come to my Collectorama page right here. It's a show up in Lakeland, Florida at the RP Funding Center. Free tickets, you can get in for free if you hit that button. And again, there'll be gold, silver, platinum, rare coins, all kinds of here. Let me refresh that because it's got a good little background there that kind of yeah, there we go. There's the convention center. Kind of cool place. There's the inside of the show. Lots of cool stuff, as you can see, silver and gold and rare coins. But absolutely hope to see you there in June, Jeremy. Thanks. Donald Robinson, what's going on? Valuable source of metals market prepper with occasional fishing. Thank you. Appreciate that. Interesting stuff. Thanks, Donald. Hope everything's well and you had a great weekend, too. Christopher says it's not a man crush, Brian. It's a bromance. That's what I got. I got a bromance with Ted Butler. I got a bromance. No, it's not a bromance. A they-mance with AI and a they-mance with todaygata.org. Here we go. I like wheat cents. Cool, man. I like wheat cents too. Actually, well, I don't like dealing with them because, but they are the backbone of the coin industry, those and silver dollars. Donald says, wait till they find out Nixon sold all the, yeah, plated tungsten. Woo, boy, wouldn't that be something? Comex default again for the 1000th time, hooray. I don't know, have they defaulted? I guess, no, they've never defaulted before, Audrey. What are you talking about? You mean sarcastic or something like that there? But yeah, I think at some point you could see it. We've already seen an LME default, haven't we? They don't call it default, so they make some other name up, but it is indeed a default. Charles Taylor, so many distractions. Are you aware that, I've got mixed feelings about that right there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section here on last week's video, or the last video I did before this one. I kind of think that the problem we're having is, yes, I agree with you on that, but the problem is now that you have our U.S. government wanting to ban it, they're also going to ban any kind of other conversations. I think it's dangerous when you ask the U.S. government to do anything because they'll overdo it. Not only will they ban TikTok, but they'll ban opposing views. They'll ban things that come from other countries that we don't. I think it's a really dangerous thing that we're doing there. Fuck it. Let's just be aware that TikTok is a political clown show. Let fucking kids play on it. I mean, if your parents are letting kids play on TikTok and it's a big brain washing game, fuck it. Let it happen. It's already been happening for decades anyway. But ask the same people that fucked it up to fix it. Government, no way. Ronnie, coming very large. Thank you, Cooper. Count Dracula, what's going on? Hot-headed Joe, haha. Why don't we talk about for everyday goods if we have that? Yeah, you're right about that. Heinlein, Lazarus Long. Yep, absolutely, me too. Well, I was in the business when I read Lazarus Long, but one of my favorite books there, Land and Metal Will Always Be Valuable. Yeah, I forgot about that quote. Land and metal will always be valuable, but you can't carry land. Mark Hazley, I haven't seen you comment very much. I can't remember. Short-term bullishment sandal would lead to a bloodbath next week. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Petrodollar is on the way out. Big news in the Saudi this week that they're going to limit the amount of petrol putting out. Lots of stuff happening here. If you stop by my place, Yeah, actually you can bring gold. Hey, for you folks wondering how you carry gold and silver in an airplane, don't put it in your baggage. Don't put it in your baggage. Don't put it in your baggage. You carry it on as much as you can carry and put it in an overhead bin or underneath your thing. You can carry all the gold and silver you can carry, but you're going to have to go through security. And what you do when you go through security is you ask for a private security check, because they're going to bag it. It's going to look like bricks or explosives. And before they even open up the bag, when you get through, now this is what the industry guys do. You're going to say, excuse me, I'd like to have a private security check. I've got, personal wealth things in here I don't want to be seen. They'll bring you into a private room. They'll go through the bag, and then they'll let you on your merry way. So yes, you can travel with gold and silver, folks. You just got to ask for a private security check. Silas, what's up? Thank you very much. Zubin Warden, thank you for commenting. And yes, Gary Gensler is just a joke. When Bernie Madoff, how useful was Gensler with Bernie Madoff? These fucking bureaucracies, these guys are joke folks. They're clowns, they're morons, all right? They really are. The idea that they're smart and doing the right thing, one or the other, I doubt it. Possible, JP. Mike, what's up, going on? There, K-Town Daddy. Miss those days in my 20s working construction. Yeah, I was talking about my first job, actually. And it's kind of cool. God got me reminiscing there. 1,000 ounce bars are almost gone in SD bullion. Ooh, good, interesting. I talked about that on the last video, too. How does one figure out the face value charge for 9% versus spot and figures? We figure it by how much silver is supposedly in a bag of 90%. Now, they say 720, but in the industry, we figure 715 on more coins. So you would multiply the spot price times 715 to figure out how much is in a $1,000 face value worth, a $1,000 bag. And that's pretty simple. If silver was $10 an ounce, I'd multiply that times 715. I come out with $715 dollars per bag. I made that up, by the way, just a low number to make it easy. So it would be 7.15 times the face value would be the melt value. I hope that helps you. Zabi Goody, what's up, man? Got your crypt. You caught me. Another one of these guys. You got me. Hide user from channel. F off there, Goody. Craig Jenkins, so glad to see a video report. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. Willy Wonka, 369. I forgot what that reference is. What's that reference to? You got to watch my video. John, I forget a lot of stuff now. Every 8 years finding new. Since 30 years coming, what a bullshit. But every 8 years finding new stupid people to believe they're this shit. Oh, John. Learn something, dude. Really, you're so off base on that. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I didn't say that we've defaulted all these years. I've just been talking about recent. And if you don't recognize that the largest, like the CME group, the LME has defaulted on a nickel deal, and that can't happen in the U.S. And that the even our CME group is nothing but derivatives. If you don't figure that out, then you're as stupid as the people that believe the kind of shit that you do, John. Sorry about that. Don't mean to be harsh. Normally not, but nonsense. Unless I misunderstood what you said there. Soon be able to get, yep, Bricks Nations. What's up, Evelyn? Marizo. Interesting that little delays on deliveries out there. Going to be a lot of delays on delivery. Angela, what's going on? Appreciate that. New Smyrna, love the area. Walter, Paul, thank you. Appreciate that. Would like to know what I drink. Well, I'm a drinker of everything. Coffee in the morning, in the afternoon, and then in the evening. I drink a lot of water and lemonade. I like lemonade. Don't ask me why. And then I will have some wine at night, and that's really about it. Hard alcohols, mostly vodka, because I used to love bourbon, but it gives me heartburn now. I love aged rums, but only a tiny bit. Anyway, there you go. Thanks, Walter. What's new every, they're all corrupt. I can't argue with that. Go fishing. I need to do that more often because I feel so relaxed today. Maybe that's why I got a morning video out. Well, folks, that's it. If you don't find me on this particular channel, first make sure you hit that like, that subscribe button, and that little bell wherever it may be on your page. It'll let you know when my new videos come up. And I'd like to thank all the viewers out there that watch and comment on my videos. And if you happen not to find me on this particular channel for whatever reason, you never know, you can find me here on this particular channel right here. I've been updating this as well. And I like this channel actually a little bit better, believe it or not, even though they don't have the numbers. I like it a little bit better just because of the really true free speech platform that they have. And speaking of free speech platforms, great kudos out there to Elon Musk for making this a bigger free speech platform. As you know, I've been out there since 2021, but I haven't really actively used it until recently. Got a few more followers, but again, If you want to ask me questions, make sure you hit me up at Brian Kuzmar. You can slow this down right here or pause the page and copy and paste that into your Twitter, and there I will pop up. You can ask me questions too. Well, folks, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum of any type, I will beat Atmex, SD, and JM Bullion. If you live in South Florida, I'll beat their prices, and I'll beat the local guys too. Come by and see us 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. And if you don't live in South Florida, two things. If you're buying more than 100 ounces of gold, more than 1,500 ounces of silver, you can still call me at this number, and we can do a telephone order, bank wires, and secure form of shipping. All right? But if you're buying under 100 ounces of gold, more than 1,500 ounces of silver, I'm not set up to do any form of shipping. I highly recommend find yourself a good local dealer, buy local, and keep that money local as well. Meanwhile, folks, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar signing out for another day. Great morning show. I hope you have a wonderful day, and me too. I hope I have a wonderful day as well. Let's see what happens with prices. Bye now. Ooh, big tarpon. Nice.